Alright, for this video we're going to take a look at just doing a composition with basic shapes. So think about some of your geometric shapes, talk about geometry and things like that. That's pretty much what we're going to use here. So I'm going to think about some basic things and just in pencil, lightly first, I'm going to go ahead and draw some shapes in, and I'm going to stack them so that they're arranged in a composition, and go ahead and apply shading and things like that with some ink. So first up, let's go ahead and put in a cone. So a cone, you'd start and you have the triangular shape, but then we want the rounded bottom on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just round off the bottom here. And so there's our cone shape, and of course you would lose part of it on the back side. Alright, next shape up, let me go ahead and put in maybe a sphere. So I'm going to let that be just a little bit shorter than the cone, and I'm going to draw it like it's stacked behind the cone. And then maybe come out front of both of these and do some type of rectangular prism or cube. Just kind of see how it ends up, so I don't want to run out of room on my paper here. So I'm going to bring this one kind of in here, and I'm sketching this in, so some of these lines will need to go away once I do clean up and stuff. So I've got a composition here with these three things. Now I want to go ahead and add some interest to it. Maybe this just isn't enough, or I just want some more going on. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put a cylinder in, but I'm going to have it go through sphere. Alright, so here's that, and then I'm going to kind of imagine where it might come out at, and then try to make that there, and then there's that. So it's kind of like a straw going through an orange or something. So this is just a very quick and rough composition. Now to go ahead and think about shading and how I might clean this up a little bit to make it look a little better. So first of all, I'm going to come through and erase out some of these lines with a kneaded eraser. It's probably shaking the camera a little bit. Alright, and there's that and that. Clean up this. Alright, now the rest of what I do, I'm pretty much just going to do with some pen and ink. And go ahead and make it a little bit more permanent here so you can see it. Alright, here's the cone. The line kind of gets away from me there. Alright, and then here is the rectangular prism. I'm not going to call it a cube because I know it's not perfect on all sides. And then here is the sphere. So what's going to happen, this is my basic line work here, and then I'm going to come back with a little bit bigger one and catch some of these lines to give it some shading and stuff like that. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put sort of a background, if you will, and start putting in some lines here. All right, and this is just basically working to give me some foundation for my shapes to be on. Trying to get something going here that kind of makes a little sense, I guess, in an abstract kind of way. All right, so now let's go ahead and get a bigger marker. Go through and start adding in some darker lines to show that there is shadow through this. All right, and then the same thing across the back here. All right. And then actually come across the bottom on this one. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the backs of this one and this one as well. Get kind of a cross-hatching thing going there. And then I'm going to catch the bottom of the cone and then the bottom of the rectangular prism there. So already, see, this has got starting to get some kind of weight to it. Now, for the shapes, if I'm going to do these and get some shading so that it, looks like they're rounded and stuff, I need to actually kind of get some lines going in here. And I don't want them going all the way around. All right, and so when I do the shading on these, it's important to try to catch the curve there a little bit so that you give that hint that this is a curved object. All right, so I've got that there. And now for the sphere, I'm actually going to come through and just quickly get some stippling in. And I'm going to get some light stippling in first. So just very small dots. All right, lots and lots of dots. All right, so what I'm going to do here is kind of do just enough to give it a hint, because I could be here all night putting dots down to make this look all nice and refined. All right, and then I'm going to grab the bigger marker and come through and basically put down some bigger dots, especially right here on the back edge. I will let a few come out into the main part just to kind of build a transition, and then right here under this cylinder, make sure to do that. Now the cylinder is another piece that has to be accounted for as well, as far as some of the shadowing. So again, just kind of get lines that move with the shape, kind of give that hint. All right, there's that one. And I'll probably get just a few up here, because this one would catch a little bit more light than the one at the back there. So maybe not have it quite so long on that part. No, the sphere is 3D. All of these would be casting some type of shadow. So I'm just going to go in and quickly just rough these in real quick. Same thing for the cone. Well, I'm going to use a little bit of artistic license in this one and not quite cover everything there. And then, of course, I've got the sphere. All right, and this one I'm going to actually let it do more of the contoured shading there, and then come back through with some hatching. And notice I'm letting the pen run light here because I don't want to overpower everything else. And there is my shapes. I will go ahead and go through. And a couple of things I like to do is just to make it look like there's some type of environment here. So maybe there's some trees kind of right here running along the back. All right, and then maybe similar to the trees, but obviously up in the air, I can throw a couple of clouds and stuff in just to kind of break up the skyline there. And then come back through with the heavier marker and get this bottom part taken care of. And so this is just a very quick demonstration of just doing the composition with just basic shapes. So we have kind of this abstract composition going on. And with just basic shapes, you're able to show quite a bit. So anything else? Let me go ahead and I can take this and just maybe throw in some little sprigs of grass type stuff here. And then maybe, just to give it a little bit more depth, I can just throw in kind of the sort of Old West style branching dead tree. All right. And so there's a little composition with just using basic shapes and some line work. And this is just in, black and white. Brush tip pens and Sharpie. All right, so hopefully you've enjoyed the little demonstration and hope to see you again soon.